Hello, I'm Matt and welcome to Badger Workshop. So I want to combine in this project a couple of my interests, obviously woodworking and alcohol. So I'm going to make a little cocktail set. I've got some resawn pine construction timber just sat in the garage, so I'm going to use that, but I need to glue it up into panels. I want to glue 2 boards together for the sides and 3 together for the top and the bottom. So to get a nice joint, first I'm going to have to plane the sides down by hand. Then I can get some glue applied and get them all clamped up and left to dry. The glue's dried on all these now, so I can get the clamps off, and then I'm going to clean them up by just running them through the thicknesser. With these planed down, I can now work out how tall I want the sides to be, get them marked and ripped down on the table saw. I've sanded it all down. Now I need to get the bits cut to make a box, and I'm going to join it together using mitre joints. So I'm going to tilt the blade over to 45 degrees, then use the mitre gauge with a stop set to get all the bits cut. All 4 sides are cut. Now I can get them glued and clamped up using some Collins mitre clamps and left to dry. So I've left that a couple of hours to dry. Now I can get all those clamps removed, and then I've got the last panel that I can cut down into a couple of pieces to go on the front and the back. So I can just get some glue applied and get that clamped on and leave it overnight to dry. So I've left these overnight, glue's dried, now I can get all these clamps removed. Then I'm going to sand these sides down to get the top and the bottom flush with the body of this. And then I want to add a round over. So I'm going to set up the round over bit in the router table and put a round over on the top and the bottom. As this box has mitred corners, I want to reinforce them, so I'm going to add some splines. So I'm swapping out my blade to my flat tooth one, and then I'm going to clamp this box, this simple jig that just runs over the fence. Then I can cut some slots in each corner. Now I've got a little scrap of walnut that I can rip down to fit into these slots I've cut and get that glued into place. The glue's dried on these splines, so now I can trim them flush and then give it all a sand down. Then I need to actually cut this box open. I'm going to use the table saw. So I'm going to raise the blade just slightly lower than the thickness of the walls. Then I can push it through, making a cut on all 4 sides. Then I can use a sharp knife just to trim off the final bit. So I've got the box cut open and that went quite well. Now I want to put an internal divider in it. So I'm just going to get that cut down on the table saw and glued into place. Now I don't love how blonde this is, so I'm going to darken it up with some stain that's also a hard wax oil. I'm just going to rub 1 coat on and then buff it off so it's quite a light covering. So the finish is all dry on this. Now I need to get these two halves put together. So I've got these little bronze hinges I'm going to use to put on one side and then a little bronze catch on the other. So now I need to get all the bits actually put into the box. Now I'm going to hold them in place using some leather straps so I can get them cut down and the ends put a round over on. To hold them in place, I'm going to use some push fittings. Now normally you'd set these kind of with a rivet into leather, and I'm going to do that on one side, but I'm going to try actually screwing the other side onto the wood. I'm just going to add some dry wax polish to the outside of this, and then the last job to finish it off, I'm just going to add a leather handle to the top. So that's it all done. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Considering it's made out of just some old construction timber, I'm pretty pleased with how it looks. Now, there is one mistake that the eagle-eyed among you might have noticed. When I was cutting the splines, I turned it the wrong way and there's an extra one in the wrong position. So, all that's left to do is knock up a cocktail and enjoy an old-fashioned. So this is going to be my entry for the Rockler Hobby Challenge. So, thank you for watching. Thanks to my patrons, and please subscribe for more videos. Cheers everyone.